my name's Grandad. Hello, welcome back. Hatches again. If you watched last week's vlog, we actually made the hatch door fronts. So continuing this week, we're going to actually attach them to the doors themselves. They actually sit inside the boat. They don't actually sit inside the doors. It'll all come clear in a minute. But first off, it was a case of just trying to line them up so that when we close the door, obviously it didn't snag on the frame that goes round. So to do this, we decided we were going to clamp them to the door, get them into place, and then pilot hole a few holes just to hold it in place while we could just finish off sort of
getting it ready.
Just getting it ready and sort of thing.
You're only seeing a few minutes of it, but it took us days.
It took us days, as you can tell. It's probably see about 4 different season changes outside, but it has took us quite a long time, this one.
Is that your new vehicle out there?
I thought in my spare time, which I have loads of, I'd just go and do a bit of ploughing.
Yeah. Go and dig them potatoes up. Yeah, they fit. They seem alright. Now we had them in the right place and we knew they were going to fit, we could then take the doors off, take the fronts back off and attach them properly. First they needed a bit of a sand and a bit of a clean up, all the bits of epoxy that had spilt over or fingerprints. Yeah, once they were off, we were ready to go. We've gone with the Danish oil to treat them. It's gone a little bit blobby, but it's all right for this job. We avoid the lumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've gone with this mainly because it's so easy to just rub down and recoat when we need to, rather than using polyurethane varnish where we would have to rub down the whole lot. So just doing the backs of the doors here, and it just goes on lovely. And we've done a few coats of that for the back.
We did think of actually painting the doors at one point, but now we've gone down this way, this sort of way of just oiling them. It's worked out nice, hasn't it?
Yeah. So that's the backs all done and dried and ready to go on. The slot areas, I've added extra coats to give it a little bit more protection, because that area is going to be exposed to the elements and damp. We're going to be using a mixture of butyl in a tube,
yes,
and
a
grab adhesive. So the butyl is being used on the areas that what we're expecting the wood to move.
Yes.
Where we're expecting the wood to move, and so that is flexible and it will move, whereas a grab adhesive will be the bits where we want sealed down. So the glue we're using is Ultimate Construction High Grab Adhesive. Yeah, and so that is going on this side because this side is solid, and the rest of the door will move across that way, hopefully. So this area, the reason why we're actually putting the butyl there is because we don't really want any water seeping or damp seeping around that vent. into the back of the
Wood.
into the back of the wood. So we're also going to be using silicone from the outside inside the vent.
Now for the hard bit, trying to pick it up without covering butyl all over myself.
I'm dropping it.
And dropping it as well, yeah.
And you're talking from experience there, aren't you, Reedy?
Might be Nanny.
You may have seen last week that we done the 2 sets of doors that are in the bedroom slightly different, and that was a bit of an experiment really to see how the doors would move. So these doors we've actually done with biscuit joints. So the rails going across are fixed down solid, and then the pieces in between can move up and down if they need to, if the wood needs to expand. On the other doors we've done it slightly different. We've done the holes that you can,
They're like a slot, aren't they?
like a slot, so they will move up and down with the
Expansion and contraction of the wood, really.
yeah.
Right, I need to draw that out or something.
I think we were so shocked that it shut that we were staring at it
For about 3 days. Yeah.
But once we stopped staring at it, we had to get the screws on. We changed a bit of the design from when we was originally making the door. Once we had to cut the wood up, when the wood started bowing, we moved the vent over slightly, so it's not quite in centre, but we moved it so we could have the lock where we wanted the lock, and that area would be the area that was sealed down with glue, so the lock is a little bit more sturdy. Yeah.
Awkward jobs are my favourite. Yeah, that's Dean is chairman of the ploughing club.
Ploughing club.
Yeah,
I've never heard of it called that before.
yeah. We've got a Facebook group and everything.
Right, new job. We're just measuring out for a little piece of framing. What do you call it?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we're calling it anyway. Uh, it's a little frame, and on one side of the frame it's to hold some
Draft excluder.
draft excluder, dustproof stuff, and on the other side it's to hold a mosquito net. It also frames the doors, so the little expansion gap we've left all the way round the wood
It's hidden.
is hidden. Yeah, so it's sort of like it's helping 3 different ways really.
Yeah, it's a multi-purpose framing.
Multitasking frame. And we're just using glue, grab adhesive and panel pins to hold it on. The frames just had a little sand back just to take some of the paint off to adhere the glue. So that's all done now. We've left plenty of room either side to put the frame and the draft excluder on, and we've just got to see if it's not in the way.
You can still shoot the ashes, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the lock goes down.
Bingo.
Bro. So do I paint these white or keep them brown? I mean, they look nice brown at the moment, but they need to be part of the windowsill really, don't they? We can now put the strip that runs up the middle, the gap, I don't know what it's called.
Called an astragal.
Astragal.
Yeah.
Is that somewhere we've travelled to?
No, it's a website I visit when you're in bed.
Quite a big gap at the top. Is there same at the bottom? We do need to leave a gap at the top and the bottom just to make sure it doesn't catch on the wood when it closes, because that will actually hit the new little frame that we've put in.
And there's no screws or panel pins on this bit of wood. It's purely just stuck in place with grab adhesive because it's not going to have any sort of
just for show really,
there.
isn't it? And
Yeah.
just to make the door look neat.
Yes.
So we've attached these doors a bit different to the other set. We've done a little
like a notch.
a notch, yeah, a bit like how you would do a kitchen worktop,
Yeah.
or a tabletop, so the wood can move. We've done the little notch and put a flat screw so the wood can actually move up and down under that screw if it needs to move. And this is them notches, and you can see that the wood would be able to move up and down under those flat bottom screws.
I've used a plug cutter attached to the cordless drill to do these plugs. Ideally using a pillar drill would be better, but I found if you cut about 1,000 out, you probably get about 10 that's usable. And these bits are a thin strip that was cut off when we were trimming the sapele down. It's just the right depth to cut into the little squares to cover over the slotted screw recesses that we've made in the doors for the expansion.
And what I did, as I'd done all round here, I then used the Terps only cloth to wipe the blue off the blue.
Now the only trouble I found doing with is that the cloth used to apply the Danish oil and white spirit mixture was the same cloth that you used obviously with the Terps only cloth. So she didn't colour coordinate the cloth, so that's why I got into trouble. And for anyone that's interested, that's the Terps only cloth there.
I told him to smile before he started this job because I knew that there weren't going to be many smiles for the rest of the day.
No.
I've had to edit out a few choice words in this little bit.
Right, moment of truth.
Yeah, go ahead. I've let him take over my painting job just so you can calm down.
Just so you don't have to be on your knees.
Yeah, and that, yeah, it was quite handy, but yeah, just made you calm down. These ones have now had 2 coats of thinned down oil and 3 coats of full oil. So I'll just leave them to finish hardening, then they can go back on. I'll get all the locks and handles and that put on first.
I hope she remembers to just use the Terps only cloth to clean the edges up and not make the fatal mistake I did of using the incorrect cloth. Just so we can get an even balance to this vlog with the mistakes, she did actually have the drill in reverse to start off with until I had to point it out to her.
The outside face of the trim, the frame that we've just put in, is now painted blue, the same as the rest of the boat, and on the inside white on this door hatch, and on the bow hatch is going to be the lilac. These little pieces of metal are for the magnet that's attached to the mosquito frames to attach to. Well, the frame's now had plenty of layers of paint inside and out, so we can put the draft excluder.
Yeah,
is that what it's
what
called?
it is. Yeah, that's what
Yeah. Now, seems a bit weird putting a draft excluder on a door that's got a vent. But really, it's for neatness on this door, and because we're using them on every hatch door, we didn't want to just leave one out. You're enjoying this job a bit better, this one, aren't you?
In the sunshine outside, it's nice.
Yeah, and you can reach it. You haven't got to get into an awkward position.
No, it's not like playing Twister, is it?
Honestly, we do usually make our bed when we're not working on it. It's just that
we haven't done today.
for a while.
It's been like sleeping in the bottom of a rabbit cage for the last few days, hasn't it? To be honest.
Yeah. I bet we've got more splinters. Well, that's that hatch done. Just got all the others to do now.
5 more to do, innit?
Yeah.
Is it? 4.
Yeah.
Including the stern doors.
So the next job is to make a mosquito net insect frame that will sit into the hatches. And we've cut some triangle pieces and some frame itself, and then we're going to attach the mesh over the top. So this is it all put together and painted, and we've put the triangle pieces to give the frame strength so we can keep pulling it off. And we're using the kitchen cabinet magnets. Now, one half of the kitchen magnet is covered in plastic with these little metal things on with the magnet inside. So we've snapped them and got the little magnet out from the middle. because that's the only piece that we'll be using. And Grandad's going to set them inside the wood. I'm going to staple the mesh to the wood, but that is really just to get the shape and to cut it out. When I make the curtains, the leftover fabric from the curtains I'm using to make a frame around this wood, so it will be glued on top of the mosquito net, because if you just use the staples they'll start pulling eventually and rip the mesh. So once the fabric's on, it'll hold it tight. The magnets are a tight fit and we're using glue.
They sing Wimmerway?
Yeah, they're a tight fit, so we've just used a contact adhesive as well to help hold them in. Also, when I attach the fabric around the edge, I'm going to do little straps in each corner, so it's easier to pull the mosquito net off. Take the frame off just using the little handles. Don't worry, we've nearly finished.
It took as long, has it?
About 4 weeks. I mean, Andy from No Gun Wales.
No Gun Wales.
Yeah, YouTube channel, No Gun Wales. He'd have had this done in half an hour.
Well, we knocked it up, yeah, and I had about 10 tea breaks and yeah, made a load of other cabinets as well. But yeah, we're not as experienced as Andy, so you have to bear with us on that.
If you haven't watched him, watch him. He's a very clever man. No Gun Wales.
Nogun Wales, like the country.
Yeah.